Wow. Thank you so much. If you're just a person who's recently seen my channel, you could clearly see that my recent video has gotten a lot of support, and I am so thankful for that. Considering it's been a while since I've had that amount of kind of just recognition within this community and that kind of part of what I've been doing. So thank you so much. But anyways, for those really loyal viewers and subscribers, I am not shaving my head off because I am not taking away these lovely, stupid, friggin' ugly looking hairs off because honestly, I don't want to look like an egg. Even more than I currently do. Like, look at this oval shaped, like, thing. But sorry, but I will do a Halloween special episode in exchange for that with my costume on to make it even more embarrassing. Actually, whatever. But anyway, we're going to be talking about why there's still a government shutdown and how things are even more polarized. And yes, you read the title of this, yes. The title of this video correctly. I do think that I'm smarter than most congressmen. And not that the sense of intelligence, because I am just a dumb kid. At least a lot of people who don't see me as an actual person trying to get my way through this type of career believe me to be. Yes, I am not as smart as a lot of you who are viewing this. However, I do feel that I have a speciality in this kind of field of public service, and the fact that I, a Gen Alpha, is actually doing this is actually pretty good. And the fact that people are going against me saying, okay, little bro, pack it up. Like, I mean, I'm just doing this. I don't, I say I'm going to be president, but it's more just a general, like, hey, I would just want to be in the public office of any sort. So, yeah, there you go. But I do generally think that we need more compromise, especially in this time where it's so polarized and we do actually have a lot of issues where we could agree on. We want a general withdrawal from conflicts like the Middle East and Europe. A lot of Democrats and Republicans support that. Yeah, because a lot of Democrats now are saying how we should get out of the Middle East by not really supporting Israel, and how we should probably get out of the Ukraine and Russia situation by actually coming up with a solution that favors Ukrainian sovereignty, while also making sure that the Russian government isn't really able to invade them again. That's kind of a thing that generally a lot of Americans can support. However, economics, like Obamacare, and subsidies based by that is practically the biggest issue of this actual government shutdown, because I've kind of been avoiding the whole topic in general. But I will say, Democrats and Republicans, they're blaming each other, but really, you should just blame both of them. Because honestly, if you're not able to come up with a solution that's just generally a good compromise, since you're not going to get rid of Obamacare. Like, I'm sorry, but it's probably not going to happen. And just the general fact that Democrats aren't willing to kind of cope with this new administration is kind of weird, since, I mean, they did do it for 4 years, but now we are already on government shutdown 2, electric boogaloo, and that's just surprising in such an aspect where, I mean, it's probably not a good thing, an idea, to not work with your opponents, so that maybe if you worked with your opponents, you could see it be seen as more moderate and actually win an election. I don't know. That's just me, Democrats. But I'm not saying it's their fault. I already said it's not their fault. But Republicans are also stupid in the fact they can really decrease subsidies by a lot. Of course, there's going to be decreased subsidies, considering that we need to control government spending, and the administration's already fixated on that. But the way this has kind of worked is not really just arguments between the political establishment of the right and left. It's more of just a divide on whether we should be moderate or be or just be so polarized to the fact we can't agree on anything. And now this is going on for 2 weeks, and I thought it was going to be to the point where if I made a video on it, it would already be over. But hey, I've already made a couple. I've talked about this a couple of times, and it still has been done with. So, for those who are being affected with the government shutdown, I thank you so much because your bosses are general pieces of, well, they're not really great at cooperating with you or their opponents. That's the deal. And anyway, I'm going to go to the No Kings protest. Yeah, there's been a lot of people who's going to these things. And there's a lot of Republicans who are saying, oh, there's only a couple 100,000 people. No, there was definitely more than a million. Probably 3 million, at least. And although it wasn't to the aspect that the actual organizers said it was still moderately big, especially for a protest that was nationwide. So, yeah, a lot of people are upset, obviously, especially when actually a majority of people didn't actually vote for Donald Trump in the election since he didn't technically get 50% of the vote. There's going to be people who are going to be upset when you go on policies that are a little extreme. Not a lot, but a little. So I'm going to kind of explain why this is going to help Democrats in a way. First of all, a lot of political organizations and kind of media has taken us at this aspect has also been polarized, making the protesters seem on the left side being seen as heroes who are defying this authoritarian regime, which no, it isn't. People are just concerned that it might be. That's the problem. And on the right, there's people saying that these are Antifa, paid by Democrats, and all that, which, no. I mean, maybe a few were, but, like, come on. Like, 99, even if that was true, which I hardly believe, I still would believe 99% of those protesting were not paid at all in any way by, anyone. This is on their own free will, and I'm pretty sure almost 100% of them were actually not paid, not Antifa, just people concerned with how the current government is going. Am I concerned? Not really, because honestly, as a progressive conservative, which is really weird to say, I'm kind of content with the fact that nothing ever happens. So, yeah. Unfortunately, it's sad, but it's true. But how is this going to change future elections? Well, a lot of people are kind of scared of the fact that the administration is going to be authoritarian government, so you would obviously expect a lot of people to vote more left. However, this isn't the case, as more conservative people, based on these actions by the left, are going to become even more conservative and kind of force whoever is going to be the nominee for 2028 to have to also contend with these groups who are becoming more and more conservative with the groups they actually need to win an election, which is moderates and independents. So, how's this going to face Republicans? Pretty bad. And I'm probably going to say, JD Vance, if you're watching this, hey, I'm not your biological child. And two, you're probably going to have a harder time winning when there's more conservative Republicans, and the fact that a lot of Republicans, even moderates, aren't really excited with your vice presidency and just potential candidacy. But Democrats are also kind of having this issue with more people are going to the left, which means they're becoming more liberal. And it's kind of the same habit. However, there is a multitude of candidates potentially viable for the Democratic nomination, so it's not as extreme considering that there could be candidates that really get to unify under this banner of defeating the Trump administration once and for all. So, yeah. Has it really changed things? A little. And how has this government shutdown really affected people? I mean, some people, it's affected it a lot. But it's kind of showing how the political establishment has just failed in so many aspects where, hey, I really wish Obama was still in charge. Even though yeah. Even though I was in elementary school or whatever, but that's just me. That's just me. I'm the political kid. Thank you for viewing this, if you viewed this, and um, if you want to comment, share this to another content creator, or do that, that would be wonderful. Considering I just want to make a movement off this kind of idea of people getting more politically active. Democrats, Republicans, whatever. Thank you. Good night.